Hey guys, I'm Jack Murphy. I want to tell you about one of the sponsors for today's show. It's MANSCAPED. MANSCAPED is a company that makes male grooming products so that you're not walking around like Sasquatch terrorizing the ladies in the neighborhood. All right, so this is their Platinum 4.0 collection right here. Has everything you need in it. First off, here is the ball trimmer, all right? And you turn this bad boy on, has a little light so you can get down into the gooch and some of those other sensitive areas. Comes with a bunch of different attachments so that you don't have any unnecessary nicks or bleeding during this whole process. There is the Manscaped Crop Reviver. This is a ball toner. And then there's also in here the Crop Preserver, which is a ball deodorant. They give you a pair of boxers, and then you come down here. It also comes with a nice, leather case, shave case. And then also in this package comes with a few other items. There is the body wash and shampoo. They also make this guy right here, the Weed Whacker. This is for other body hair, ears and nose, that kind of thing. And they also make a whole range of other products. I mean, there's a cologne. There is this thing right here. This is a new product that they have, the Body Buffer, that actually, I haven't used this. I've used all of these products in the past, so I can give them a honest endorsement. This is a new one I haven't used quite yet, the Body Buffer. It's a exfoliant that you use in the shower, so I'll have to check that out. So Manscaped, right? It keeps everything neat and tidy down there, and in every other area, below the neck. Shit, it's actually above the neck too. So, guys, I hope you go check out Manscaped. Especially this package like this makes a great gift for the holidays that are coming up. And if you go to manscaped.com and you use the promo code TEAM20, you'll get 20% off your first order as well as free shipping. So that's manscaped.com and use the promo code TEAM20 for 20% off your first order and free shipping.
The Team House with your hosts, Jack Murphy and David Park.
But life just got crazier from there, man.
There was another operation where you guys, another element you were with may or may not have crossed into another place we may not mention. You said it was a pretty big firefight where you guys went and took on some bad guys in a hostile area. I was wondering if you could, tell us what you can tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'd been in on a few missions. Like I wasn't like the guy, I wasn't like the cool guy yet, and I didn't feel like it yet. Mm-hmm. That was the first one where I was like, holy crap, this is insane. And we got compromised. We were at ORP. We're setting up ladders, and compromised, dogs barking, gunfire from every compound, and it was on. And like I said, being around competent people, they all pushed forward, and I pushed forward because they were doing it. Right. Not because I was the man, not because I had big balls. I was like, we're going forward. And we push up there, and it was the first time I'd been in a big firefight. It was the first time I fired my weapon at another human being, and but then we had a bunch of casualties, and they're like, PJ, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, not only is this target chaos, now we got people shot.
Right.
And so I go over there under fire, and I'm like, oh crap. So, guys are shot, 2 guys shot, and the target's supposed to be secure. Guy comes out of the door, starts shooting from one of the compounds that's supposed to be already cleared. I'm like, holy crap, this is insane.
Right.
So I'm pulling guys across the compound under fire. It's insanity. It's chaos. Other compounds are just stuff blowing up all around us. We have no clue what's going on. And we're in a hostile kind of region, and the city is waking up.
Right.
And we had one asset overhead, and they were working it, man. And the CCT was working it. And he's a stud. He actually lives close to me in my neighborhood now. He's a stud, and he managed that chaos very well. But I started getting more casualties. And guys were like, I had a guy come up to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm shot in the head." I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Where?" And so I pull off his helmet, and the round struck the front of his head, stuck in the back of his helmet. And I'm like, "Holy crap!" I'm like, I check his helmet. His skull's not broken. I'm like, "Dude, keep clearing, man."
Yeah.
We were so thin. It was like, keep clearing. He ended up spraining his ankle, and he was complaining about spraining ankle more than getting shot in the head. Another guy shot the legs, and it's just chaos. And so, it probably was only maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of kind of conflict, but it felt like all night.
Yeah.
And we ended up pulling this guy out. I went super light because we ended up humping like 8 hours to this target, so I was like super light. And this is back when none of the SEALs would carry any gear for me, right? They wouldn't carry a Skedco, they wouldn't carry nothing. I mean, they wouldn't even carry blowout kits on their own kit. It was like, hey, Chad, you got it, right? And I'm like, not for everybody. And it got better through the years, right? It got better, but we were so lean and mean that it was like we were pulling him out on a pull-less litter. If you've ever carried someone on a pull-less litter,
It's pretty difficult.
you talk about CrossFit workouts, that's the workout of the day. And we humped him down to this road. The city was waking up. They're coming out like Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of style. And the 47 almost crashed on top of us because they were so hyped up. And I could have touched the bottom of the 47 when they landed. And so, I'm covered in blood. My uniform's covered in blood. And we get back, and, it's when you get back from debriefs from big ops like that, it's kind of like, everyone's kind of chipping away at how many people they killed. And if you do a number, you're like, that's like 4,000 people.
Right.
Like, that wasn't that many people there. And then here I was, dealing with like, what could I have done better? And I could have done a lot of things better. And I have a lot of remorse from that operation for the things that I didn't do well, and I learned from it. And so I committed myself to being way better than I was on that op. And I became obsessive about it, honestly, as an operator.
What were the things that you became obsessive about?
Medicine. I wasn't super good at it. I wasn't good at pharmacology. I wasn't good at pain management. Wasn't good at all the basics. And so I committed myself to being great at it. Mm-hmm. And I think I became that, but that was like a really formative experience for me. And then you only get a couple, in your career. And, some guys have had a lot, and I'm sure you guys have talked to a lot of studs that have had a lot of crazy experiences. But for me, that was one that I could have proved myself on, and I failed. And it was, failure to me, I'm hypercritical. I'm like, okay, I could have done this, this, and this. But I committed myself to never making mistakes again. And, maybe one day walking on the street in New York, maybe I'll get the chance.
There's
hang out long enough.
Another operation you were involved in. I mean, you can say whatever you'd like to or not talk about on this one, but the Captain Phillips rescue.
Yeah. So there was a few Air Force guys in that op. I was with a small team of guys that jumped in early. I was a jump master, jumped in a bunch of a mixed bag of nuts, into the water, and our job was to basically turn the lifeboat around before it hit Somalia, because if it hit Somalia, they would be gone.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we knew that the squadron was going to blow out, and they're going to do the no kidding hostage rescue. We were just going to we're going to fix it, right? If they get to the hinterland, they're gone.
Right.
And what happens with hostages in Somalia is they basically hold them for a year, they go black, and they pop up in the net, make their demands, but it's really hard to find them. And so we had very little guidance, and we went down. I was in an apartment complex. I can't tell you what country, but like, hey guys, we want you guys to go. I'm like, all right, we got parachutes. No, we found some parachutes in ISU 90. They were expired by a couple of years, and I'm like, parachutes don't they don't turn into they don't turn into
Vinegar.
toxic waste every 2 years.
Right.
I'm like, they're probably fine, and this is pretty important. Let's just jump them. And so when you talk about ORM in the military, it's a non-starter. I'm like, screw it, man. I'm the jump master. I don't know if I'm allowed to make that decision, but we're going to do it. And we jumped. It was all fine. We got there, and we were part of the solution. And so the squadron sent a really small contingent of folks to where we were already. And then it resolved itself the way it did. I can promise you it didn't go the way the movie went, or the TV said it did. It was much more kind of low-key operator stuff. There were some heroics that happened that night. There were some guys that did some pretty awesome stuff. But at the end of the day, it was kind of pot shots from very, very close distance. Pulling him out, and then what people don't realize is that when we pulled him out, I flew back to the main aircraft with him, and Discovery Channel basically blurred my face and said I was a Navy SEAL, which is the highest praise I've ever got in my career, to be called a Navy SEAL. my wife saw it and she's like, "That's you walking." But when we did that, we came back. The pirates attacked another ship. This never made the news. Is that they attacked another ship in retaliation, and they just so happened to drop off their cargo, so they're sitting very high in the water, and they couldn't get on the ship. And so they called us and were like, "Hey," there was like 6 of us. Like, "Can you guys come help us?" Like Mayday. And so the destroyer were on, like, "Can you guys go?" And so the regular squadron was going back and like high-fiving each other, like, you know, cocktails, whatever. And
Right.
we were on the ship, and Phillips was with us. So he's with us on the smaller ship, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll go." And so we went and basically did a hook and climb on the ship.
Wait,
And
did you take Phillips with you, or
no,
did
no.
you... Okay.
No, he's chilling on the captain's mast.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah, so we went out to this ship, and we thought there was pirates on it because there was RPGs that went low order on the side of it. I mean, it was bad. It was like, holy crap, this is legit. And maybe it was a little bit of hubris. We're like, "Yeah, we got it." And so me and one other SEAL, we cleared the front of the super tanker, which is like Conex boxes, like multiple football fields. They're insanely big. I didn't know how big these things were. And we're clearing this, the 2 of us, pieing off Conex boxes, just one after the other, thinking we're getting a tick. No body armor, catcher's mask, nods, and no, we had 416s. We didn't have MP7s. We had 416s. And the rest of the team went to go to the superstructure, which they thought everyone was locked down in. And so we're assuming we're getting in a gunfight. And there's no one on the ship. And it was the eeriest thing. And so we
It was just out there floating?
No, they attacked this thing. They couldn't hook onto it because it's so high. And we didn't know this. And so the crew had locked themselves in the superstructure thinking they were
gotcha.
under duress. And they called Mayday. And so here we are to save the day, and there's no one there. So we have to ride back with this ship for like 2 days, and they're like merchant Marines on this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know what these people are. They're like full on like criminals, man. They're like
the
dudes,
old Foreign Legion.
They're making shanks.
Yeah.
And I'm sleeping in this bed with them. I'm more scared of them than Somali pirates. And I'm like, these guys are gonna kill me, and they're gonna eat me. And no, it was an interesting like dynamic. But there was so much more to the story. Eventually it will come out. I'm assuming somebody will talk about it, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool to be there. I didn't know it was a big deal. It was during Easter, and so I would call from the fantail of the ship on my Iridium phone. I had an Iridium phone because I'm a bougie guy, right? So I had an Iridium.
Too good for a Thuraya.
Yeah. And so my wife's like, she's like, "What's going on out there?" I'm like, "Nothing. What do you hear?" She's like, "It's a big deal back in the States."